Real Housewives of Beverly Hills stars Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky are still separated. Neither has filed for divorce, yet all signs point to this marriage being over. After all, Mauricio has been getting kissy with several different women, and Kyle seems ready to embrace a new life. However, Kyle's sister, Kathy Hilton, is clinging to the chance that these crazy kids could reconcile. Kathy Hilton would like to see Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky back together. While Kyle took the giant leap of removing all photos of Mauricio from her bedroom, she is still cordial with her ex. Mauricio and I get along really well. You know, we both want the best for each other, Kyle previously stated. We love our daughters, so we were very good friends. Meanwhile, after photos dropped of Mauricio kissing another woman, Kathy admitted that she sometimes checks in on him. I still care about him. He is my niece's father, she explained. After being family for 27 years, that familial bond didn't just disappear. Yet Kathy is still extremely supportive of Kyle and, above all, wants her sister to be happy. Well, it seems that Kathy might be crossing her fingers for a reconciliation. I don't like change. I really don't, Kathy told Briefing on Bravo. I'm a creature of habit. So it's all about Kathy. When asked about a possible reconciliation between Kyle and Mauricio, Kathy stated, "He's our family, the children, all of that. To me, they are still children, and everybody wants their mom and dad together. But you never know." That RHOBH friend of the cast added, "I think in life there's always hope." However, Kathy acknowledged that right now her sister is doing great. Still hope in Beverly Hills. By the time the morning light filtered through the gauzy curtains of her Bel Air estate, Kathy Hilton had already been awake for hours. The house was still, quiet, too quiet for her liking. She missed the noise, the clatter of laughter and half-arguments that used to echo during Sunday brunches, family get-togethers, and unplanned visits from her sisters, especially Kyle. She walked barefoot across her grand kitchen floor, silk robe tied around her waist like armor. Her coffee steamed, untouched. The silver tray beside it held fresh fruit and a copy of Los Angeles Times, but her eyes were fixed on her phone screen. Another gossip site headline, bold and damning, Mauricio Umansky seen kissing mystery woman, again. Kathy sighed and set the phone face down. She had always believed in happy endings, even the messy, unpredictable kind that had a way of making headlines before they found peace. It was just part of who she was, a hopeless romantic, and more than that, someone who still believed in family above all. And Kyle and Mauricio had been family. For 27 years, Mauricio was more than her brother-in-law. He had been one of them, a constant at birthdays, Thanksgivings, even the infamous Hilton Richards Christmas chaos, where champagne flowed like water and someone always cried. Kathy remembered those days vividly. Kyle curled into Mauricio's arms on the couch, their daughters laughing in the backyard, Paris chasing the youngest with a glittery Nerf gun. Life felt golden. That was before the world caught wind of the fractures, before the tabloids, before the distance. It had started subtly, as it always does, fewer photos together, cryptic Instagram captions, the tension that even clever editing couldn't quite conceal during RHOBH confessionals. Kyle was changing. Kathy could feel it. And so was Mauricio. He had always been handsome, charming, that million-dollar smile that had sold countless properties. But now it was different. He was being photographed in places that Kathy had never seen him visit before. Parties in Aspen, yachts in Mykonos, always with a new woman just on the edge of the frame. It would be easy to be angry, to cast judgment. But Kathy didn't. Instead, she worried. She remembered sitting beside him during family dinners, both of them rolling their eyes as Kyle recounted the latest Bravo drama. She remembered how he'd always place a hand on Kyle's knee under the table, how he used to look at her sister like she was the sun. What had changed? Maybe everything. Maybe nothing. Kyle had grown stronger. quieter in some ways, louder in others. Her social media hinted at inner work, therapy, spiritual retreats, and more time spent alone. She removed the photos of Mauricio from her bedroom, Kathy had noticed during one visit. She hadn't said anything, but it stung like a cold wind through a broken window. Still, Kyle insisted there was no animosity. Mauricio and I get along really well, she told the press. We both want the best for each other, and Kathy believed her. But she also believed something else. She believed there was a crack in the door, just wide enough to let hope in. Later that afternoon, Kathy found herself in her walk-in closet, scrolling again. Not through headlines this time, but through old photos on her iPad. She paused on one, Kyle in a flowy white dress, barefoot on the lawn, Mauricio behind her with a champagne flute, whispering something that made her laugh until her head tipped back. Kathy blinked, saved the image. Then, on impulse, she called Kyle. "Hey," Kyle answered after 2 rings. Her voice was even guarded, the way it always was when she sensed Kathy might be feeling extra sentimental, as she called it. "You sound busy." "I'm not, just finished Pilates." "Ah, still doing that goat yoga thing." "That was once, and it was a baby alpaca, not a goat." Kathy laughed. Whatever it was, it looked ridiculous. Kyle chuckled. "So, what's up?" There was a pause. A silence stretched between them like warm taffy, pliable but delicate. "I saw the pictures," Kathy said finally, "of Mauricio." Kyle was quiet for a beat too long. "Yeah, I did too. I just wanted to check in." "I'm okay, Kath. I know you are. I can tell you're doing great. You're glowing lately, really, but..." "But what?" "I just want to ask, do you think there's any chance?" Kathy's voice softened. "For you two?" There it was, the question she'd been nursing for months. The hoax she couldn't quite kill. Kyle sighed. "Why does everyone want us to get back together?" "Because we love you," Kathy said. "Because we're used to you together. Because it feels weird not seeing him sitting next to you during Christmas dinner." "I don't know, Kath," Kyle said, quieter now. "I'm just figuring things out. For the first time in a long time, I'm thinking about me, not being someone's wife or someone's mom or someone's little sister. Just me." Kathy let that sit. She was proud, truly. Kyle had been through a lot, not just with Mauricio, but in the public eye, in the complicated landscape of fame, family, and reality TV. She deserved peace, and maybe that peace didn't include Mauricio. "Still, can I say something selfish?" Kathy asked. "Of course. I don't like change. I really don't. I'm a creature of habit. And see, you two, apart, it just doesn't feel finished. Like maybe the story still has a chapter left." Kyle didn't respond right away. Then she said, "Maybe, maybe not, but I need to be the one who writes that chapter." Kathy nodded, even though Kyle couldn't see her. Fair enough. Weeks passed, and Kathy kept her distance, physically at least, but she still checked in. With Kyle, with the girls, even with Mauricio. He'd been surprised when she texted him out of the blue, "You okay?" His reply had been instant. "I'm hanging in. Miss the chaos of you guys sometimes." "We're still here," she'd replied. "Just a little quieter lately." That had been their whole conversation. But it was something. In early spring, Kathy hosted a garden lunch, a tradition she'd nearly abandoned this year, but she decided to go ahead with it. Her way of saying to the universe, "I'm still here, and I still believe in beautiful things." She didn't expect Kyle to come, but she did. She wore white again, simple and elegant, and brought a bouquet of sunflowers. Her energy was calm, rooted. "Thank you for inviting me," she said, pressing a kiss to Kathy's cheek. "Of course," Kathy said. "You're my sister." They sat together under the lemon trees, sipping rosé, watching hummingbirds flirt with the blossoms. "He called me," Kyle said suddenly. Kathy turned. "Mauricio." Kyle nodded. "Just to talk. He saw a movie that reminded him of our first date." That's sweet. It was, Kyle admitted, but also confusing. I don't know what he wants. Kathy didn't push. She didn't have to. 2 weeks later, photos surfaced again. This time, not of Mauricio with a new woman, but of Kyle and Mauricio walking through a Beverly Hills farmer's market. No hand-holding, no kisses, just companionship. Still, the blogs exploded. Are Kyle and Mauricio getting back together? Kathy didn't say anything publicly, but privately she smiled. Hope. In June, Mauricio dropped by Kathy's home. Unannounced, not unusual. He brought a bottle of wine and a sheepish grin. You're lucky I like surprises, Kathy said, ushering him into the sunroom. They talked about the girls, about Paris's new baby, about the market. Then he got quiet. I messed up, he said, in a lot of ways, and I don't know if Kyle will ever want to try again, but I miss her, and not just the marriage. I miss the friend. I miss the family. Kathy's eyes softened. Then tell her that. I'm scared. She's probably scared too. Mauricio nodded, looked out at the garden. I just don't want to close the door completely. Then don't. That 4th of July, the family gathered again. Not everyone, but enough to make it feel like old times. Kyle arrived with her girls. Mauricio came later separate. Kathy noticed how their eyes found each other across the patio. No sparks flying, no big cinematic moment. Just a look, recognition, history, possibility.